How's it going, Michelle? How are you today?
Good. How are you, Lindsay?
Excellent. I'm feeling great. What are we getting into in today's episode?
Okay. I don't know. I'm sure everyone is guilty of this,
Yeah.
but it's hard when you're talking to someone and they're not actually paying attention, and you are talking, and you can tell that you're not being listened to. Do you ever have that?
That's an awful feeling, Michelle. And sometimes I just don't know what to do. I just get upset and then I stop talking.
Yeah. Right. Oh, yeah, yeah, me too. I'll just be like, okay, I don't know. I Some people like well, here's a question. If somebody's like looking at their phone, that's kind of an obvious like rude
Yeah.
one. But let's say
Yes.
you are talking to someone and they're kind of just like doing the dishes or,
hmm
doing something like that, and you're trying to talk to them about something important. Does that bother you?
Yeah, it can for sure, especially if the person is clearly not. Sometimes, though, people are listening and they don't look like they're listening. Some people are
Yes.
just very internal and they don't like show everything on the surface. And so they actually are listening. So we have to know whether they're listening or not. Right, Michelle?
Right. Well, I feel like, do you ever remember, like, do you, like, when somebody goes, I'll wait, like how, like, teachers used to
Oh,
say, like, I'll wait. Like,
I remember
sometimes
that.
I'll do that with Dan as a joke. Like, if I feel like he's not, I'll just be like, I'll wait. It's like, because it's like, I'm not paying list.
That's actually good. I'm going to start using that at home
Yeah.
too.
I'll wait, right? Like, well, but guys, that's like kind of let's just explain that quickly for our
Yeah.
listeners. That's kind of the classic teachery thing to
Yeah.
say.
Like your
I
second
think,
grade teacher
yeah.
said that when a group of kids were making a lot of noise and he or she was trying to do a lecture or a talk or teach you something. And it's kind of a way of like making themselves humble, but it's actually kind of stern.
Yeah. And it's funny that I said that to you, and like we went to school in different
Yep.
places, but this was just like a
Yep.
very,
You see
you
it
know,
everywhere.
yeah,
Yes.
right, exactly. So you knew exactly what I was talking about. So that was like
Uh,
a childhood reference in a way.
For sure. So this is what our listeners are going to learn today, right, Michelle? What can we do, when we are the ones who have been
Yes.
distracted? Because that's even worse,
Yes.
right? When you're the one not
Yes.
paying attention.
Because you really that's a really make or break it kind of point, make it or break it kind of point as far as your connections go, especially with new like relationships, new friends, new business colleagues, always, I think.
Totally.
So yeah, if you are that one who was looking at your phone, what can you say, right? So we want to convey this message that you are all ears, right,
All
to
ears.
someone.
Love it. Love it. That's where we get the name of our podcast, right? So all ears, to be all ears means that you are fully listening, right, Michelle?
Absolutely, absolutely. So we're going to go through a few things that you can do. So, the first thing you could say is this expression, undivided attention.
hmm
And I mean, if you think of undivided attention, I mean, it's literally attention that's not
Right.
divided, right?
Yes.
You're fully there. You're fully present.
Exactly. So we could say, so here's a sample sentence, guys, that you should write down. Sorry,
Mhm.
Michelle, you have my undivided attention. Keep going. Right.
Right.
So that sounds professional. It sounds formal. It sounds good, I think. Right.
Yeah. And you could also say full attention, right? So
Right.
full attention is fine as well. Lindsay, you have my full attention. Please tell me what's going on.
Yes, I love
Um,
that. I love that. And they could say, I'm listening, right? Would be the
right.
last
And I
thing.
didn't write an example, but
Right, right. I'm listening, right?
uh-huh. I'm
It's so
listening,
important
right?
that we say these things because that's a moment in which we need to kind of recover the connection, right, Michelle? It may have been broken a little bit. We've broken the connection for that moment, and you need the words to recover the connection.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, what if you want to include an apology of some kind? Guys, I also want to recommend that you listen way back in the
Ooh,
beginning
way
to
back.
episode 149, which is practical alternative phrases to saying I'm sorry. So I thought that could be another one if you're looking at ways to kind of like apologize to someone. What are some different things that you can say? So listen to episode 149. Go back into the
Go
archives.
back into the archives. If you guys are in the iOS or the Android app, you can just type that number into the search bar at the top of the episode list and you will find it. Or you can also find it on our website.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Absolutely. So, the first thing you can do, we're going to give you just a kind of a three-step process here. So, the first thing is to apologize. What's the
hmm
second thing, Lindsay?
Number two, you could use one of the phrases that we've just shown you. right? And third, you could encourage them to continue, right? So we kind of need to do all three, right?
Right. It would just be, I feel like if you just say, I'm listening, it almost sounds like, you're belittling them a little bit. Like, yeah, I'm listening. You might not really be listening.
Yeah,
like
you're
you
a
might
little
still
bored.
be doing the dishes. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you have to be careful of your tone there. So we need to do a number of things. We need to kind of invite them to keep talking because they may have lost their confidence a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. I really don't like
Me neither.
when this happens. I don't know. I some people are okay with just kind of going on and somebody's, doing something else, but I don't want to feel like the person listening is feels like they have something to accomplish. Like that they're doing something, that they're searching for something, that they're doing a chore, doing a task, right? Well, I don't know. I don't feel like, I feel like then their mind, I don't know, maybe it's because when I'm listening, I know how it feels to have your kind of attention in many different places, and I don't want somebody to do that to me. Do you know what I mean?
Totally. I mean, the interesting thing here is, Michelle, this taps into maybe childhood insecurities of not being heard, right? And let's get really deep. Let's get really deep.
Lindsay.
I'll speak for myself. I had a great childhood. My parents were amazing. But because I'm a verbal person, I spoke a lot at home. And maybe there were a few times when I wasn't always listened to. And we remember that stuff as parents, guys. We remember that stuff as adults out in the business world. And it's kind of like, it's the trauma coming back,
Interesting. Well, I don't know how it is for your parents, but I feel like my parents look at their phones more than I do.
Really? Oh, that is not the case with my parents. Yeah. Interesting. Okay.
My brother and I will always just laugh about it. When I'm with my parents, I'll sometimes send my brother a picture of my parents sitting and staring at their phones, and I'll just send it to him, and I'm like, these millennials.
That's hilarious. I love that. That is so funny.
Yeah.
I feel like that's kind of rare.
Yeah, I don't know. There was something from, I think it was The Onion, where it was like, it was, The Onion. It's
I know The Onion. Yeah, for sure.
And it was like family gathers from miles of, hundreds of miles apart to sit and stare at phones.
Yeah, right. That's what we're going through these days, right? But someone has to take action and articulate, right? Articulate what's going on, or that they've made a mistake. Don't you think, Michelle?
Absolutely. So the first thing is to apologize. So you can say however you want to say it. Maybe listen to episode 149 to get more expression. Right. So you could say, so sorry, I apologize, right? I apologize, I think, is a little bit more formal, a little bit.
It's more formal for sure, right? Just saying I'm sorry is fine too. And then use one of the expressions that we've taught you guys earlier. Again, one more time, maybe we should list them again, Michelle, right? Saying, you have my undivided attention, keep going. Right? Or
you have my full attention.
Please tell me what's going on. Right?
Yep.
Okay.
Or I'm listening.
Yes. And there are a few other things too, right, Michelle? A few other phrases we might throw in there.
Right. So you notice some of those probably in the ones I just said in the examples, but you could say, keep going. Please continue.
Right.
Or go ahead. Or what's one more thing you could say? You
were saying. Right. And my tone of voice is going to be a little bit trailing off there to help them pick up the conversation.
Continue. Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. So good. All right, Michelle, let's go through. Let's talk about this first. How do you handle these situations?
Yeah, like I said, sometimes I'll make a joke about it, right? If I'm the one that's not being listened to, I might say, I'll wait. Or sometimes I'll just stop. If it's, I feel like this happens with my mom a lot.
Oh, really? Your mom on her phone and you talking to her?
Yeah, I love my mom. No, there are other people. There are other people who I can think of in my head, but sometimes I'll just sit, because it is true. You kind of just lose your momentum. You feel like you
lose your momentum. To. Yes. And then you feel like you're using too many words. You're saying too much. Your words don't have impact, right? So all these things contribute to a break in the connection, for sure.
I think I end up starting to talk in circles, or I'll just kind of be like,
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't mean to call out my mom. My mom.
Let's go through some role plays for our listeners so they can see how this. So in this first role play, guys, this is something at work that might be happening at work, right, Michelle?
All right. So, okay, here we go. Lindsay, so I think we should. You there?
Yeah. Oh, so sorry. You have my undivided attention. Keep going. Okay, so maybe I was staring at my email in that context, and you were like standing by my desk, and it just wasn't connecting. Right?
I think this is so important for the workplace. I really do. Like, I don't know. I'm thinking of times when I was an intern.
Yeah.
In different places, and you can just tell, like, it's like the power dynamic. I mean, I had a lot of great internships, but like, yeah, when you're standing there and like you're like this intern and you're just like,
my gosh,
and they're just looking at their computer, and you don't want to bother, but you also don't want to seem too timid, and it's tricky.
Were these your internships in New York?
Yeah, I had a New York one. I had DC ones. I feel like in the DC ones that happened, but yeah, maybe not so much in New York.
Makes me think again. I think I might have said this last time I recorded, but it makes me think of The Devil Wears Prada, right?
Yeah.
The poor girl, like no one listens to her. Everyone just kind of disrespects her and doesn't talk to her and just asks her to get the coffee. And yeah, she's kind of there, but they're not really listening in the beginning to her, right?
Right. It's so true. Okay, so and then we'll do one more. So in this one, we are roommates.
Okay. I really think it.
What? I'm sorry, Lindsay. I'm listening. Go ahead.
Okay. Anyway, let me tell you. Okay. So in that case, yeah. So you're the one kind of not listening, not paying attention, right? So, but then you rescued it. You said, okay, I'm sorry. I'm listening. Go ahead. Right?
Yes. Yeah. I think that you just giving them some encouragement towards the end is important.
Yeah, for sure. So what should we leave our listeners with on today's episode, Michelle? What do you think?
Okay, well, I mean, I think that we've all been in both of these positions. We've all, on both ends, right? Like, I'm not perfect. I certainly do it. But we also need to remember that there are things that we can do in these moments to make sure that the person doesn't feel insecure speaking to us.
Right, for sure. Guys, it's all about that connection. We need to make sure that we choose the right words to kind of bring them back in. You can rescue it. You can rescue that moment if you say the right things in English, right, Michelle?
Right. Exactly. I don't think that there's a point, like, I think you can still save the moment and you can make the person feel good if you do these things.
Yes, 100%. So write these words down, guys, and don't forget to hit follow on All Ears English. Today's episode is also where, Michelle? Where can we see today's episode on video?
On YouTube.
So exciting. So if you guys would prefer to watch All Ears English podcast, that is an option over on YouTube. So wherever you like to listen, make sure you hit follow or hit subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next episode. Michelle, you have a good day.
Bye, Lindsay. Bye, guys.
Bye.